Hello, everybody.
Hi, everybody. We're excited. Brian and Lucy with Special Olympics Iowa. We're going to give everybody just a few moments to get signed in on the call. I see that the participant numbers are going up. About another 30 or so seconds before we begin. Lexi, are you excited to share some fun, exciting things with our friends?
I am very excited. I'm excited to get moving and excited to hear from anyone as we go through some of these items. We've got a good afternoon planned for us.
Yes, and it looks like our numbers of participants are going up. It looks like right now we've got quite a few, and that being said, where that some of our schools are having their students sitting together and they're registering as one, but there might be 10 or 12 people in the same classroom, so that's exciting. Here again, we're excited to be with you. We're going to get this show on the road and get moving like Lexi said, and get talking and having some good conversation. Again, I'm Brian.
I am Lexi.
And with Special Olympics Iowa, Unified Champions Schools. And as we're going to have some fun items to share with you, and when we go back, we're going to pass the football. We're going to show you what we're going to do. Lexi, catch the football. Good catch. And then when it's my turn to talk, Lexi's going to pass it back to me. All right. And we're going to show you all wonderful ways to throw a football for real, how to actually catch a football, how to move those feet, and talk about leadership as well. Before we begin, I want to show you how to actually put air in this pancake-looking ball thing here, okay? Maybe you've received your football already in the mail. We hope you have. If you haven't, it should be on its way. You got a little pump. Take this pump. You got a needle hidden inside that pump right there. Pull it out of there, and then twist the needle into the pump. Some of you may have never actually put air into a ball. That's why we want to show this to you. And then you could actually, to make it easier, you can just, if you wanted to, you can dip this little needle part into water, make it slide in easier, or you can just get right inside that little black hole there. Once it's in there, just hold it and begin to put air in there and make it nice and full of air, okay? So I'm going to show you that again one more time. I'm going to let you all do that right now while we begin chatting. Perfect. Very good. So the very first part of this program, it's going to be focused on leadership conversation and what it means to be a student leader and the importance of inclusion and so on. That being said, friends, some of you may have participated in this last month with heart health, and if so, this is going to be a repeat of that conversation. We also have a lot of participated in heart health last month, so therefore this will be the first time that they hear this part of the program. And so what we want to do is we want to talk about what is leader. During this program, you'll be asked to maybe participate, answer questions. You're welcome to use the chat box at the bottom and put your answer in there. So what is a student leader? If you've got an idea, you want to share that with me, I'm going to give you a few seconds to put that answer in the chat. Lexi and I will watch that, and then we'll continue that conversation. What is a student leader? Essentially, a student leader is it's a student that intentionally encourages others and encouraging and accepting. That's a student within the movement of inclusion, within the movement of the inclusion revolution. What is a student leader? Anybody else? Any more answers, please out there and we'll hide them and make sure that we bring attention to your answers. Talk about what inclusion. Does anybody want to put that in the chat? What does inclusion mean to you? I'm going to watch that. Give everybody just a moment to respond. And Lexi, are you able to hear me pretty well?
Yes, I hear you loud and clear.
Wonderful. What is inclusion? We're going to let you guys put that into the chat if you would like to. Perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and put some answers out there, and you're welcome to put that in the chat as well as participants. But inclusion essentially is the acceptance and the invitation of people with different abilities. So I like to think of inclusion as being an invitation to the party. This is what I always explain it as. Inclusion is an invitation to the dance. For example, the school dance. Maybe you have school dances and you've invited somebody to the dance. That's inclusion. What is meaningful inclusion? Meaningful inclusion is when you put purpose and meaning behind that invitation. So therefore, we've invited you to the dance. Hey, come to the dance with me. That's the invitation. That's inclusion. Hey, dance with me when we're at the dance. That's where it comes into the meaningful inclusion. That's where we get purpose behind the action, okay? So therefore, inclusion is the invitation. Meaningful inclusion is the act of doing something. So wanted to share that with you. Really enjoy talking about inclusion with our friends across Iowa. The acceptance and the invitation of people of all abilities. That's what we really want to encourage everybody in Special Olympics Iowa, Unified Champion Schools to be doing, accepting people of all abilities. Here's an important question. You don't have to respond if you don't want to, but if you do, then we'll certainly bring attention to your response. But we want you to think about, can any student be a leader of inclusion? Can you be a leader of inclusion? How can you yourself be a leader of inclusion in your school? Especially right now in such an interesting time where we're all wearing masks. You know, we're in an interesting world right now where maybe we're not even allowed to be close to our friends. How can you be a leader of inclusion? The answer is, can anyone be a leader of inclusion? Absolutely. The answer is yes. Looks like maybe Lydia has put something in the chat. We're going to give Lydia a few more moments to put out her thoughts there. She says, hi, I'm Lydia. Hello, Lydia. You're welcome to finish chatting in that box, and we'll bring attention to that if you want to answer. But the answer is yes. Anybody can be a leader in inclusion. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my football, I'm going to take the real football. I'm not actually going to throw it. Get your football ready to catch, Lex. Good catch.
Got it.
Good catch.
Yes, thank you for the nice throw, Brian. I'm always ready for those. As we wait for Lydia's response, I want to piggyback off of what Brian was saying about inclusion. And as we've noted that you may or may not be around your friends face-to-face, but virtually, I think it's still important to include. It's always important to choose to include. And while everyone is at home in their own spaces, everyone has been tuning into as many virtual opportunities as they can, which is really great. We love seeing you guys on all of our virtual opportunities and series. So please continue to do that and be inclusive when you do it. Please invite your friends. We want to see more faces, new stories, just new friends really on any of our virtual programming. So that's one way you can choose to include in a virtual world. Another important way that I feel included when things are all virtual, I can't really see anyone face to face, is when a friend will come, not come to me and check on me, but they'll maybe text me and check on me and say, hey, how are you doing? They'll give me a call. Hey, how are you doing? That's when I feel most included in a virtual space. So please keep continuing to do that. In your own school, it's also very accessible to start the inclusion revolution there. There are, of course, 3 components to a unified champion school, one of them being unified sports, which a lot of you are familiar with. Some schools have unified basketball teams, unified bowling teams. Another component is inclusive youth leadership, which also a ton of you are familiar with. A lot of your schools have inclusive unified clubs, whether that be art clubs, music clubs, just clubs that meet up on a weekly basis, monthly basis, just to hang out. That's awesome. We want you guys to keep continuing those conversations. And of course, always ask Brian and I questions if you ever have any. We are definitely resources for you all. If you have completely run out of ideas and you say, I don't know what to do, there's two people right here that you're looking at that would very much look forward to helping you find an answer. The third component, a lot of you have participated in this, is Respect Week. Well, actually, the example is Respect Week. The component is whole school engagement. That's where a whole school becomes aware of the movement that's happening. So our theme last year was Choose to Include, and hopefully in your school you had our big poster put up on your wall, and you had all of your students in your school sign the pledge to include, saying that, yes, this is an environment where everyone is accepted, everyone is celebrated, we want to be your friend. So that is one example of whole school engagement. Brian, can you hear me?
I can, I sure can, yeah.
Okay, it looked like I was lagging a little bit. I just wanted to make sure. And
I also think I see Poppy in the back.
Yeah, you all might see my little friend back here running around. She is going to be getting active with us this afternoon, actually. She's already started. So this is Poppy. We're excited to have her here with us today. But I'm going to toss it back over to Brian. And of course, if anyone has any questions, please, you're encouraged to put them in the chat. We want to address any of those at this time live as we can. So we'd love to talk to you. Brian?
Good throw. All right, thank you, Lexi. So friends, before we get moving on with the rest of our programming, I want to talk to you a little bit about the importance of practicing basic skills of sports. So for example, you want to play football on the football team, or you want to play tennis on the tennis team for your school. Maybe you want to join the swimming team or whatever it might be. Why is it important to practice the skills of that sport before you have competition? Well, a few reasons why. It's because you want to know the sport. You want to understand the sport. You want to understand the goals within the sport. You want to understand how to move and how to do the different techniques and skills within that sport. For example, you've never been to a swimming pool. You've never gone swimming. You want to join the swim team. Am I going to put you at a swimming pool and ask you to swim across the pool, especially in the deep end, and you've never been swimming? Absolutely not. We're going to practice the skills before you go into the deep end. Maybe you want to play football. Am I going to put you in a set of pads and put you on a football field with some of the NFL players, the 49ers or the Carolina Panthers or the New England Patriots, and ask you to run a football across there and try not to get tackled? Absolutely not, because that would not be good. You would probably get hurt. So the reason why we want to practice the skills of the sport is so that you understand the goals of the sport and so that you know how to do it without getting hurt. And so today we're going to do some things with football, talk about the skills of football, talk about how to move your body and exercise your body and stretch your body and do things prior to playing so that your body is ready to play without getting yourself injured. We'd like to ask you to put in chats real quickly as well if you would like to put an answer out there. If you've got an answer for that, why we want to know the skills or why we want to practice the skills, maybe you can put out some answers as well. I'm going to give you a few moments here. If there's anything else that you would like to, oh, looks like something from Lydia. Let me pull that up. It says, Lydia says, I would like to try football. A leader is a person who serves people, who provides help, and has leadership or clubs, and have encouraged others to have someone come along with others. That's correct. Yes. Thank you, Lydia. So that's very good. That's very good. Yep, you really got it on point right there with what you're stating. Looks like from Miss Jody Larson's classroom. Yes, to be confident when we perform. That's right. That's very good to the students in Miss Jody Larson. That's Ankeny Centennial. Those students, good job with that. If anybody else has anything else, please add it. The question again was, why is it important to practice basic skills of a sport before competition? To be confident when we perform. That's very true. Very good. I'll give you just another moment or so. While I'm chatting, I'm going to leave the chat box up and you're welcome to add. With that being said, what are some of the basic different football skills that are important in football? You can answer that as well. I'm going to give you an opportunity to answer that. What are some of the basic skills or basic techniques within the game of football that are important for you to be able to do if you wanted to play the game? Catching, Ginger Halverson's classroom. Throwing, that's also from Ginger Halverson's classroom. That is over at Linn-Mar High School near the Iowa City area. That's wonderful. Catching and throwing. And it looks like from Jody Larson's classroom, to be able to throw the football and to catch the football. Correct. Good job, students. Wonderful. So another one that we're going to show, oh, teamwork. Yes, Ginger Halverson. I love it. Teamwork. Team, T-E-A-M, together, everyone achieves more. Team, I love that. Throwing, catching, holding, that's a good one too. Holding the football, how to hold the football, how to catch the football. And another one that is important within the game of football is also running. So we're going to talk about those things today in just a few moments here. We're going to talk about the different ways to catch the football, the different ways to hold the football, and the different ways to throw the football, as well as running and moving your body. Looks like Lydia says to get stronger, to play with others by doing exercise, and to respect. Correct. Rhonda Schwarzkopf, she's with our staff at Special Olympics Iowa, says it's important to know and understand the skills and rules needed for a sport. Athletes need to be prepared physically and mentally for each sport they participate in. Very good. Hey, you guys are all wonderful. I love it. You're doing so great. What we're going to do here is we're going to transition into a, we're actually going to play a video. In just a moment, Lexi's going to pull it up. She's going to share the screen, if you will, for us. And I want to give you a little understanding of this video prior to starting it. Since we're playing a video and streaming it through Zoom, there might be a little bit of lag on that. So don't go turning off your screens or anything. It might lag a little bit. We learned this earlier in practice. That video will later be sent to you so you can watch it by clicking a link. You can still hear the audio pretty well. But we're going to play it. It's about a 5-minute video, and then we're going to come back to conversation like we're in now. Lexi.
Thank you, Brian. I am getting it pulled up at the moment. And Brian, if you will, once I do start sharing it, could you give me a thumbs up if you can hear it?
Yep, sure thing.
All right.
And I just saw your message, Lex. If I need to share it, I can do that.
I think it should be working at this point. My notification went away, so we should be good to go. I think my connection should be stable, but if halfway through we need to switch it up, we may have to do that. We'll roll with what we've got. One moment. Okay.
Hi everybody, Brian Coffey with Special Olympics Iowa, and today we're excited to tell you how to do different techniques of the football game. We're going to show you how to throw the ball, we're going to show you how to catch the ball, and we're also going to show you how to move those feet real quick with running. I'm excited to show you how to hold the football so you can get a good throw, as well as how to hold your feet in the right spot and move your body so that the ball can go as far as you could possibly throw it. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to show you first how to hold the ball, okay? Taking the ball in the hand that you throw with, trying to place your pointer finger as close to the top as you can, while also having some of these parts right here, the laces, in between your fingers. I typically find myself holding my middle finger at the top of the lace and skipping every other lace, about like that. Having a good grip on it, and then being able to hold the ball while you're also keeping your feet square. I always keep the foot opposite of my throwing hand forward. So for example, opposite this leg here forward and my throwing hand back. And whenever I get ready to throw the ball, I look at where I'm going, I bring the ball back, I drop back a little bit. I don't lean back too far and I don't lean forward or anything. I typically just bend my body back a little bit. I twist my hips like so it kind of gives me a little bit of a slingshot action. Bring the ball back, and then I throw it.
Hi everybody, my name is Katie Schur. I'm Director of West Regional Field Services, and today I'll be talking about some techniques to catch a football. The first thing you want to do is get a nice stance, a wide stance about shoulder width apart, and then have your hands ready to catch the ball in a somewhat of a diamond shape. Keep your arms a little extended out in front of you, but don't probably do it in front of your face because you don't want it to hit you if you don't catch it. And you want your hands really loose, and you want to have your body relaxed, because the more tense you are, the more likely you are to drop the ball. When the ball is coming at you, you want to find a focal point on it. You can either look at the stripes on the ball or the seams, just something to make sure to keep your eyes on the football. And then you'll catch it like that with your hands in the diamond shape. Those are the best tips for catching a football.
Hi everyone, I'm Lexi, and I'm going to show you some helpful tips that's going to help you run really fast and really safe. The first one we're going to go over is using your arms. Your arms are one of the most important things and helpful things when you're running, because it makes it easier. The faster you move your arms, the faster your legs are going to follow. Something helpful when you're moving your arms is to not stick your elbows out too far. That can kind of make you go side to side. So you're going to want to keep your elbows in, bring your knees up, and try to be sure that your opposite arm goes with your opposite leg. So we're going to practice high knees for about 10 to 15 seconds. Bring your knees up, keep your elbows in. Good job. Now another thing that's helpful when you're running, and it makes it easier, is your breathing. You want to breathe in your nose and out your mouth. Try to keep that in mind when you're running. I know it can be hard, but if you think about your breathing, it might make it a little bit easier for you. Now that we know all of those helpful tips, I'm going to show you a drill that you can put together once you know the catching and the throwing, and you can practice your running skills with it too. You're going to put the football about 10 to 15 feet in front of you. Start back here. You're going to use your helpful running tips. You're going to run towards the ball. Squat down, pick it up. You're going to jump up to the sky like you're catching the ball. Set it down and run backwards. You're going to do that all over again. And you can do that 15 or whatever you're comfortable with. The most important thing is that you're having fun while you're doing it and you're getting your heart rate up. Good luck.
Hi everyone, my name is Dawn Chris, Senior Director of Sports and Programs here at Special Olympics, Iowa. You just saw some fantastic football techniques. I just wanted to let you know we actually have a football skills competition every year in October held in Cedar Rapids. The events are throwing, catching, running, and flag pulling. If you are interested in this competition, please let your coach know. We would be happy to get you started in the program. Catch you later.
Okay.
Okay. Wonderful.
Awesome.
Lexi, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Perfect. Get ready to catch the ball because I'm throwing it back to you because you got some fun things to bring up, don't you? Here we go.
Got it.
Ah, good catch.
Now I'm going to get this pulled up for us. So we all heard some very helpful tips. I know I always could use some helpful tips when starting a new activity. It's always helpful to hear what other people know. So we're going to get moving a little bit, and I'm going to adjust it so you guys can see me.
If you're all in a safe enough space with room, make sure that you get yourselves a little bit of room so you can follow along with Lexi.
Yes. Okay. So first off, we're going to start off with those breathing techniques that I mentioned in that video, because in between each activity, where we get our heart rate up and we're a little bit tired, we're going to stop, catch our breath, do the breathing activity, and then move on to the next part where we're going to get our heart rate up a little bit more. So the breathing activity that we're going to do in between these, you're going to breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. You're going to make them even. So if I breathe in for 6 seconds, I also want to breathe out for 6 seconds. So let's practice that. Breathe in your nose. And then out your mouth. Awesome. And now with that, we're going to use our arms. So breathe in for 6 seconds. Out your mouth for 6. And that is what we're going to do in between each of these activities where our heart rate gets up a little bit. First off, we're going to start off with some stretching. We're going to make sure we warm up our legs really well because in football you do a lot of running, okay? So we're going to march in place for about 15 seconds. You can always do this a little bit shorter or a little bit longer, just depending on what you need to do to warm up. Awesome. Now the next one is going to be a star stretch. Hold this for about 10 seconds. Making sure to stretch out your shoulders. You're going to be reaching up to catch the football, so you want to make sure your shoulders are stretched out. And then you're going to alternate reaching down. So I'm going to cross over, stretch down to my opposite leg. Hold it for a few seconds. Then stretch back up. You're going to switch, reach back down. We'll do 5 seconds. And back up. Let's do that 2 more times on each side. Reach down. Back up. Other side. Back up. Last set. Reach down. Stand up, star stretch. Last one. Reach down. And stretch up. Woo. Okay, the next one. So we just stretched out our shoulders. Now we want to be sure to stretch out our legs because we're going to use those a lot. So you want to stretch out your quads. Your quads are in the front of your legs right here. You're going to take your back leg, or one leg, you're going to bend it, reach back. If it helps, you can hold on to something. Like if you have like a cabinet or something around, hold on to that for balance. You're going to hold that for about 15 seconds on one leg. I feel it stretching, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And now we're going to switch legs. We're going to grab the other leg. All right. And to further stretch out our legs a little bit, I'm going to move the camera down so I know you can see me. This requires you to to the floor a little bit. So you're going to start out one foot in front of the other. Reach down, put one hand on each side of your foot, and you're going to bend your front leg. You can put your back knee on the ground if you would like, but you're going to bend your front leg, press forward. This should be stretching a lot of different muscles in your legs, your hamstrings, your back quad. Stretches a lot of different legs, or muscles in your legs. Yeah. Now you're going to do the same thing on your other leg. You can put your back knee down if you would like, if that's more comfortable for you. And you're going to press your hips forward. I'm going to get the best stretch out of it if I'm not leaning over my leg like this. I know it's really easy to do that because you feel like you're getting more of a stretch. But try to keep your posture up and press your hips down.
Hey, Lexi, I thought you said that your kitty was going to participate. Looks like she's lounging.
It's nap time for her, I guess. She might join us later. Now, similar to how we started the last one, you're going to be in the same position how we started that lunge, but you're going to straighten your front leg. Okay, this is going to stretch the back part of your leg. Reach forward. Hold it for about 10-15 seconds. And then you're going to switch to the other side. So again, you're going to set it up how we stretch our last one. Straighten your leg, reach forward. Hold it for 10 to 15. All right, good stuff. My legs are starting to feel a lot more stretched out. We have one last one, and it's a yoga pose. It's called downward dog. Now, if this is too much for you, definitely feel free to do a standing toe touch. Just make sure your knees are not locked out. You want to keep a slight bend in your knees. But downward dog, you're going to start with your legs straight. You're going to put your arms on the ground, and you're going to try to push your heels onto the ground.
I'm going to choose to do toe touches.
We'll hold this for 10 to 15 seconds. You should feel a lot of stretching in your calves. All right. Whew. I'll move that so you can see me. Okay, now that our stretching is done, we're going to get into some of the activities that our heart rates are going to be a little bit pumped up in. So our first activity, let me make sure you can see me. Our first one, we're going to run with high knees for 10 to 15 seconds. And like I said, you can do this longer or shorter, just depending on whatever your body needs. So we're going to get that started. Remembering to run opposite arms, opposite legs. Whew. Good job. Now, as we rest in between, we can choose to keep marching for 15 seconds. And then we're going to go into another round of a running high knee for 15 seconds. And then go back to walking it. We ready to run again? Get your knees up. Good job. Now go back to walking it. I feel my heart rate going up. Now one last set of running high knees in 3, 2, 1. And walk it out for 15 seconds. Whew. Ah. I feel my heart rate going up. That's a good sign. Now we're going to do that breathing exercise that I mentioned. Ready? Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. One last time. Breathe in. Breathe out. Good stuff. Now our next activity, it's going to be a little similar to the last one, like high knees, but we're going to do fast feet. So Brian, if you actually want to show your feet in this, your shoes in this film, that might be helpful for everyone. Some helpful tips when you're doing fast feet is to try to stay on your toes, okay? So when you're running, if you're running really, really loud, then that means that you're not running on top of your toes, okay? So you want to try to keep your heels off of the ground. So when you run, you can't hear anything, okay? I'm sure the person below me in this apartment building can hear me, but you want your feet to be very, very light on the ground, just like Brian's doing right there. Awesome. So for 15 seconds, we're going to do fast feet and then walk in place for 15 seconds. We're going to go through that 3 times. Ready? Fast feet. Good. Now walk it out. Remember to do your breathing techniques too. In the nose, out the mouth. Now fast feet. And walk it out. One last set where we're doing fast feet. And go. And walk it out. 15 counts.
If you're anything like me, your legs are feeling it.
Yes, they sure are. All right. Now, like at the end of our last one, how we practiced our breathing, we're going to do that again, just to catch our breath. In your nose, out your mouth. In, try to reach up to the sky, out. Inhale, last one, reach up, and exhale. Awesome. Our last one where we're really gonna get our heart rate up, you can use your football if you would like. These are called burpees. And typically, whenever anyone says burpees, no one ever likes them. But we want to be sure that you're enjoying yourself and you're doing what your body is able to do. So if you need to go a little faster, if you need a little bit more of a challenge, certainly feel free to do so. If you need to take it a little bit slower, if that's what your body is telling you, then certainly do so, okay? So for this, you're going to start by running in place a little bit. You're going to jump up to the ceiling, put the football down. I'm going to adjust my camera a bit. Put the football down to the ground. Go down to a push-up position. If you want the extra challenge, do your push-up. Pick up the ball. Run. Jump up. Set it down. Push-up position. Stand back up. Run a little. Jump up like you're catching the ball. Set it down. Push-up position. And run. Okay, we're going to do that 3 times through and then do some breathing, okay? So run, jump, set it down, push up, stand up, run, jump, set it down.
I jumped early.
Push up, stand up, run. Last one, jump, set it down, push up, run. Woo, good job. Last time we're gonna go through those breathing techniques. Reach up to the ceiling, in your nose, out your mouth. Inhale, exhale. Last one, inhale, exhale. All right, I am warmed up. Wow, good job everybody. If you're doing this along here with us, that is the end of the live activity. We're going to go through some other activities that you can do if you do happen to be in a PE class, or if you are at home. You can do these either location and still have a fun time. The first one, sorry, as I'm still catching my breath. The first one, it's called cone running. So the cool thing about this is that you don't even have to have cones, okay? You could use, number one, maybe this pump, maybe this notebook, other household items. You don't necessarily have to have cones at all. And you're going to—
Water bottles.
Yes, water bottles, soup cans, anything. It's always important to keep a water bottle nearby when you're working out. Just want to throw that in there. Always drink some water before a workout and after, and as you need it during. So the cone activity, you're going to set up 3 cones in 2 rows. So a total of 6 cones or other household items. You're going to set up 2 rows, and you're going to start at one of the cones and zigzag between them. You can run with your football. You can run between them and time yourself. So each week you can try to beat your next time. Maybe one time you try to run through it. Maybe that's how you get through it the fastest. But next time, maybe try to shuffle, go side to side through the cones. Then maybe you try to run backwards. Just try to switch it up, record yourself, time yourself, and see if you do have improvement week to week. I think it could be interesting if you do write those down. You can choose to write it down anywhere or in your handy Special Olympic notebook that you all have. So that's one activity that you can run through. The next one, it's called Simon Says, but maybe we'll call it Coach Says. And maybe, Brian, you can help me out with this one. We could maybe show everyone what this is. I'm going to be the person participating in it. And maybe we'll say, I call Brian up on the phone, like, hey, Brian, could you help me out with an activity?
Of course.
So Brian, he's going to be the coach. So coach is going to tell me what to do. As I'm waiting for the command, maybe Brian will say, coach says, turn to the right. So as I'm running in place, I'm going to turn to the right. What if Brian?
How about we do this?
What was that?
Ready? I'll give you some commands.
Okay, all right. He's going to be creative with this. I'm ready.
Perfect. Start running in place. You're doing great. That's how you're going to start. Coach says turn to your right. Coach says turn to your left. Coach says jump up and down. Coach says jog in place. Turn to your right. Good job. I didn't catch you. Coach says turn to your left. Coach says come back to the presentation.
Oh, okay.
Good job.
Thank you. So that is something that you can do. Either maybe you are at home and you have someone to help you out with this, or if you don't, you could hop on a Zoom call, a FaceTime, or even just call someone up, and I'm sure they would be more than happy to help you out with that activity. But until then, I'm going to pass it off to Brian. He's going to say some last words and give you guys a little challenge.
My goodness, you put some power behind that. You must have been doing a little workout recently. Good throw, Lexi. Yes, thank you, Lexi, for all of that, for the exercise tips and the ideas on how to move our bodies. I hope all of you were able to participate. We've only got a few moments left with you before we send you back to class and work and whatever else you have going on today. I want to show a few things really quickly with the football that were shown in the video, but because the video was a little bit lagging, just want to show it to you now before you get the video sent to you later. This is what we referenced as a diamond, okay? This is the diamond. This is how we want to instruct you how to catch the football. You take these fingers, putting them together, have your hands out like so, and then the ball comes flying at you, and you catch it in that diamond right there. So it should look similar like this when you catch it. Also, when catching the football, we don't want you to get hit in the face with it. So if the ball is coming directly at your face, maybe off-center yourself a little bit and catch it to the side, okay? We're going to show all these things to you. You will receive a link to within the next day or two with a recording of this recorded, as well as a link to directly to that video we showed you a short while ago. We want to encourage you to do daily passing and catching techniques. We don't want to encourage you during the season of COVID. We don't want to encourage you to necessarily do this with people that you're not already interacting with. So perhaps a family member who you live with or somebody that you're already interacting with, if they're interested, get outside and play some football with them. You don't play tackle or anything like that, but we want you to just practice the passing, practice the catching, do some running around your neighborhood, get active. That being said, what we want to do is we want to challenge you ultimately to spend at least 20 to 40 minutes each day, if at all possible. Maybe that could be like a recess time or at home time, just getting active outdoors. Before the snow hits, get outside, play with your new football, get your friends together if you're already interacting with them, and just have a good time enjoying this new football equipment that you've received, getting your body moving, practicing those breathing techniques that Lexi has shown us. Another note we want to add as well is that it was mentioned in the video a little bit ago, but we want you to all know, eventually when we get back into normal programming, of course, that each year we have state flag football competitions that take place in Cedar Rapids. That occurs in the fall. It just passed. Obviously, we didn't host that program, but that program that's the season we're in right now. And that being said, we would like you to consider as a team, as a school, to create a flag football team that can compete next year and display all the skills that we're teaching you today. So we've enjoyed having you. We hope that you've enjoyed it. I've seen a few more chats come in from Lydia. She's expressed to us a few times that she's really enjoying this, so we're glad. Rhonda has also mentioned a few more things, so thank you, Rhonda. for all of your comments. We've enjoyed having all of you here. Can't wait to see you next month. If your teachers register you, it's going to be basketball. So as you can imagine, you'll be receiving a basketball. And instead of us passing, we're going to be shooting it to each other or passing like so to each other. Lexi and I will be. So we're excited to have you and your friends and other teachers involved next month for Unified Champion Schools Leadership Conversation and Basketball Techniques. Lexi, do you have anything else that you'd like to add?
I will just throw it back out there again that if anyone ever has any questions or ideas that they want to share with us, we really enjoy hearing those. You guys are so creative and you're capable of a lot of really cool things, and we're excited to help you out with those. So the table is always open. You can find our email addresses, probably #1 from your teachers. And then also on our website, you can definitely reach out to us there. So last words, thank you everyone. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay active.
Goodbye.
Bye everyone.